Hello everybody, hello. How are we doing today? Lovely 10 p.m. on a, what is it, 10 p.m. on a Wednesday. If you're watching back the stream, please let us know. What have you got on your wrist today? I'll actually show you what I've got, well, not on my wrist, but what I've been wearing a fair bit recently. The new, what is it? It's kind of reflecting pretty badly. The new Kuoe triple calendar. The beads of rice bracelet. 90-010 from Kuoe. Quite nice. You guys know me, I love a good triple calendar. So very happy about that one. But yeah, let us know what you're wearing down in the chat below. Because I'm always curious what if you guys got that on, you know. Alright, let's see. Why is it not? Let me go to the Go Live Studio. Live now? Is that actually live? It is. Alright, let me post you guys. Okay. Yeah, so just let me know what you guys are wearing. And I'll get the... Today's chat, we're going to talk about pretty much everything. So if you guys have any micro brands that you want me to review either today's episode or next episode, okay, next week on Wednesday, please let me know. And we can talk about whatever watches you want to. Is this working? Hello. Anyway, what have we got today? Is my audio okay? New P2100. This one's a smaller model for the ladies. That's what it says in the chat. Let me put it into English for you guys. Already sold out, damn. GMA P2100 series is characterized by its compact size and simple appearance. It's got an interesting purple-ish dial. So they've got some other colorways here. The white and pink. Wow, quite nice. This one here, damn. Obviously you guys have seen these ones, the mechanical Edifice. Me and you were playing around with it a little bit. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I like it a lot. Shumbonji, what's up, Tim Cheeseman? You're wearing a Shumbon on the wrist? Hell yeah. So I've just gotten out of the shower, so I'm fresh and ready for the live stream. Fresh and ready to search for some hitters and some shitters. Anyway, hello Nigerian Prince, how are you doing today? Is that who I think it is? What's up, Niley Harold Managa? Welcome in, welcome in. I'm just browsing the new Casio collection. These ones came out a little bit ago, but I haven't seen much conversation around them. LF30W. Have you guys seen this? What do you think about the LF30W? Leave a comment down below. They're quite nice. So they're a world timer instead of, if you know, the LF20W. Similar here, this one's basically Anadigi. G'day. Yeah, sorry to go. What's the time in Queensland? About 11. So I'm catching some of the Australians and some of the Asian viewers from right before bed. I'm catching the US and EU while they're waking up. The cream one looks good. Yeah, the cream one's quite nice. I mean, for both of them, the cream one's quite nice. But yes, the LF20 had it's an Anadigi. So, you know, it's got the analog clock face here, then the digital one here with PM indicator, and then this, I don't really even know what this is, a sub-seconds timer or something, who knows. But then it's got date, month, so, you know, perpetual calendar kind of deal there. I think so, at least. But yeah. So yeah, they came out with the new version, which is basically the same, but it's a world timer, so you can change between, you know, different countries, different time zones. So you can get, like, you know, Australia, Japan, Russia, I imagine, up there, maybe. So pretty cool. Best world time. Oh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. The best world timer since the A500. Hell yeah. It's a pretty good one. I mean, I like it. It's cheap. It looks nice. Well, cheap, relatively cheap, yeah. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, it's cheap, nice. You know, a couple of different colorways. The LF20, they did a fair few colorways. If you search like LF20W into images, they had outside of Japan, they had some other colorways like this burgundy one, which I think this one's quite nice. You know, like a little wine red. Some people too are doing these like customs with it, which is pretty cool. Just depends if you like that kind of thing, you know what I mean, mate? You know what I mean? Anyway, gentlemen and ladies, any watches we should be talking about today? Anything that we're missing out on? Let me jump on to let's jump onto the Japanese watches. Ready? What do they have? Ooh, Irish coffee. This one's a quite nice one. How do you guys feel about the Irish coffee, or just the like cocktail time pressages in general? They're quite nice. That's a non-original bracelet. That one's a pretty nice one. It's got a king quartz and a grand quartz. King twin quartz, 20 seconds a year, and then a twin grand quartz, which I'm pretty sure was 10 a year from this model. Anyway, Bidoru12 says, I just watched the Kuoe video, nice video overall, looking forward to more vids like that. Next time don't make it look like you're cornering the owner. It did look like we were cornering the owner there, didn't it? That's funny. Yeah, he was really nice to talk to. Really appreciate that they, you know, gave us time to go through and, you know, discuss about all of their watches and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, it was really good. We had basically the whole showroom to ourselves. All the staff were really nice. You know, that we're looking at like all these watches, and I kind of misjudged because of how the like bracelet links are. It was a little tough to get it like perfectly aligned for my wrist, and also be slightly big enough for Yuta's wrist as well. But they were really nice to let us, you know, like try multiple times to you know, resize it. So that was super nice. Well, what you wearing right now? I'll put it onto the full camera. Hold on. So it's the Kuoe 9010. Well, I haven't had it on all day, but I was going to put it on for the live stream, so I'll put it on after this. But triple calendar, you know, Miota 9122. It's completely out of time, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I've been really liking this though. It's a really nice watch. So I'll have to reset the time though. It's off a date. Anyways, Thanex, welcome in. I hope you make a detour to. I hope to make a detour to Kyoto and Kuoe when I make it to Japan next year. Great video. Thank you, M3 Ace man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been doing reasonably well. You know. I think it's one of those things where it'll just, you know, slowly over time it'll keep increasing and increasing with how it is, like, you know, viewership and stuff like that. Because I mean, Kuoe is getting more and more interested, you know, more and more interested eyes out there. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Damn, fake Seiko. Fake Seiko Alpinist. What the hell? Yeah, this is a complete shitter. This one's quite nice. Take a look at this bad boy. But yeah, definitely want to. Who knows? You know, if Kuoe ever open up a like Tokyo office or something like that, we'd love to, like, you know, go and you know, film some of that opening party kind of thing and see how it is. I like how he said that he doesn't want to be branded as a fashion watch. Those are words of a craftsman / owner with a vision. Yeah, I was very impressed with that as well. You know, I think it's one of those things, right, that you know, you can chase just trends all the time, and you'll end up, you know, being forgotten. But if you know, have your own style and you kind of perfect it and you keep working on it, you know, you can have a really good, engaged, excited customer base with your watches, right? And I think their latest release, this one here, you know, the new colorways here. I think they did a great job with this, especially this green and gold one with the breguet. Look at that. That's just very beautiful. Really like this one. I think they did a great job on this. I like the other colorways as well. I think this green and gold one, #1 by far. And then the other ones, this one too is quite nice. The kind of, I think this is more of a ladies color a little bit. I mean, really depends. You know, I have some friends who could pull this off as well. But I'd certainly, if I had to throw it, I'd say, you know, throw a dart at the board. But it is quite beautiful. And then this salmon pink one too is kind of also, you know, mostly a ladies model. I think, you know, some men could enjoy this too. Don't let me stop you. If you're a man looking at this watch and you're like, damn, I love that, just go straight ahead, alright? And this one comes with a decorated movement. Pretty cool, made in Japan. The 9039. That's like the only, Denis Sivion, good morning, welcome in. That's like literally the only thing that stops this one that I have from becoming a 10 out of 10 is that the rotor is, well, the outer ring is decorated a little bit. Or maybe I'm confused. Let me take a look what yeah, okay, the outer ring comes like patterned from the factory. So yeah, that's the only thing that it's a very slight thing, is that the one that I have, the 9010, it doesn't come with a decorated wheel, a decorated rotor, right? Good morning, where's Yuta? Yuta's quite sick at the moment, and he's also very busy with editing, so he couldn't join us for last week's stream or this week's stream. I'll try and convince him to get on another one, but yeah, at the moment he's quite sick. So if you have a chance, you know, if you're in the Discord, just send Yuta a message saying like, hey, get well soon, I hope you're, you know, feeling better soon, blah blah blah, because he needs your help right now. Good morning, hey C Quality, what's good? Welcome in. If the sky's the limit, what would you get from their shop? I don't know if they still show it, but there was yeah, the Kuoe 5th anniversary they had a 5th anniversary triple calendar, right? Do they still have it? They have it on a YouTube video. Maybe we can take a look at that. I might have to mute this. Yeah, let's take a look. See, this one comes with the decorated rotor, and it's cased in gold. Well, not full gold, but gold plate, right? Damn, it's got a nicer bracelet too, a nicer belt rather. See, that's what I was wanting. Unfortunately, only 100 models though. I basically woke up and it was sold out. So, I mean, both of them are really nice, but I'd probably go with this panda style model. You know what I mean? But yeah, unfortunately, they don't sell it anymore. It was, you know, it was only for a very short time. But I think that's really, really nice. I don't think it gets much nicer than that. So yeah, damn, I didn't know they got the. Interesting. Yeah, so they just dropped those. So I'm going to Kansai this November. Was thinking of getting the Royal Smith 006 after watching the Kuoe video. Really like the waffle texture with the dagger indexes. Which on the 90006? Yeah. Well, these new ones that just came out. It was funny because while we're there, he's like, "Hey, don't these aren't like don't leak the release of these." Oh, I didn't know it comes with this type of bracelet too. A bonk clip. Interesting. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, like these are under. I don't know what day it was, but it's like these watches you can't show them until X date or whatever, and it was like a week or two away. And me and you were like, don't worry, we can't edit that fast. We can't edit that fast and have it like released within a week or two. So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, no, 96, really, really nice. Hey Ultrons, how you doing? Welcome in, Doxy. Dow XY, welcome in. But yeah, I like all these, but I think this green and gold one is definitely my favorite. I think they knocked it out of the park with this one for sure. Really, really nice. This one's more of the salmon one. I think probably this is my like second favorite from this range. And then the rest are like pretty equal, but I think these two models, obviously the straight pink one is the most, this is obviously more of a ladies model. And the eggshell kind of blue, Tiffany blue style one, I think this one's not, maybe a little less feminine than the other one, but they're both quite nice. They're both pretty cool. Anyway, everybody watching, are there any micro brands or other watches you want to take a look at? Let me take a look around the watch stand for a little bit. Cheeky little AP. Fortunately, don't have money for one of those bad boys. Actually, I'm kind of being curious, like what's some of the cheapest stuff? Can I just take a look at everything? Do I have to go to specific brands? What's their cheapest Grand Seiko? That's my question. Surely some older. Oh damn! Damn, they SPGX 005. Isn't that? It's a little bit old quartz one, right? 137 with tax. Tax free. What's that? Probably about 800 US, roughly, tax free. It's a quartz Grand Seiko, but it's still quite nice. Atelier being new releases today. Atelier when? Oh, I saw that when I woke up. Where was it? The newest one, right? Yeah, let's go on there. Yeah, this one with the hammer finish dial. Wow, look at that, huh? And in the rear, in the movement, they finished the movement with the like Chinese kanji. It was like words of wisdom or something. So if you put it in USD, it's 5.8 grand. A lot of money, but not, you know, not completely unreasonable. It has a really interesting like hammer finished fume style dial, which is really cool. You could choose either Arabic. I think it's a Chinese watch, right? You should go with the Chinese characters. Is that crazy to say? Is the SNK 45 a good option for a first watch? Let me take a look. We'll come back to that, Celia, when. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's not much you can complain about with this, right? You know, it's got a day date. I personally think your first watch should kind of always be a quartz. You know, something like this, right? Something like a G-Shock. It's upside down. Something like a G-Shock, you know, tells the time, tells you the day, date, month, something like that. Damn, you can see my bed in the background. You know, nothing crazy, because when you buy these cheaper mechanical watches, the timing is going to be quite poor on these ones, right? So, you know, if I go to the Seiko website, it should tell us how many. Is it going to pop up? I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad watch, but you know, when you're talking about first watch, I think your first watch should always be quartz, right? You want something that's, you know, super reliable, a daily, something like that. I should say first automatic. I have a Casio already. Okay. In that case, yeah, I mean, you know, for 30,000 yen, it's not too bad. You know, it's got the kind of stuff that you're looking for, right? In terms of feature set, you know, day date, it's quite nice. Looks pretty decent. I'd probably say go try it on first and see how you like it. But you know, in that 30,000 yen range, like, you know, there's not a whole lot of other you know, competition that you would have, right? So I think it's a decent choice for a first watch for sure. Is there anyone else in the chat who has some other suggestions for what to get in that sub 30,000 yen? I just think that some other examples are, you know, like Orient have a lot of automatic watches, and you know, Orient is a sub brand of the Seiko Epsilon group, right? So you're getting you know, you could go for the same 30,000 yen. Some of these like older stuff like this, like the Orient Macos, and let me hop on. I don't know what's wrong with Amazon. Hold on, let me go on this. Like some of the older, yeah, like this one here, for example, on Rakuten, right? You're getting here, you know, it's the you're getting from the out of the box like a nicer. Let me put it into English for you guys. Getting out of the box a nicer movement, right? Plus 25 to 15 instead of plus 40 to minus 25. And you know, same day date, nice little rotating bezel, diver kind of feel. And it's a very similar watch to the SNK. Where was it? You know, in terms of visual looks, it's pretty similar, but you know, I recommend the Orient is what I'm saying. I'm looking to get a watch on a 2,500 from Japan. Should I get a new quartz Grand Seiko or a used mechanical Grand Seiko or a used Omega Speedmaster Reducer? Any other watch you would recommend? Welcome in, Ashok Jain. What I recommend for you to consider is, I think if you're considering buying a Grand Seiko quartz, the better option to get is to get these the Citizen watches, right? So some of them might be a little bit of a stretch on your budget, really depends, but some of them here, for example, this one I think is absolutely very, very beautiful watch, right? You're getting this kind of meteorite style looking dial, and it's got a date, perpetual calendar, and it's platinum coated on the it's polished and then platinum coated on the bracelet. So in pretty much every metric, that, and it's plus minus 5 seconds a year, right? Which is just insane. They got a black one too if you prefer the black meteorite instead of the white meteorite, but both of these are really, really, you know, of course, I think the biggest kind of thing that I really dislike about the Grand Seiko quartz watches at the moment is that they're only, you know, very plain dials, and they're plus minus 10 seconds a year, right? But some of these ones are a bit out of your budget, but they're also quite nice. But you know, I just think they're really beautiful watches, and you know, they're like a Grand Seiko quartz but better, right? And it's not crazy to say that. There's this one here which is about 1,000 out of your budget, but I think this is a really, really beautiful textured dial. Or I used the Citizen Chronomaster. Yeah, I think you know, all of the Citizen range of watches are good, but especially the Citizen, I think they did a really, really good job on them. So you know, all of these are quite nice, and you know, I've handled them a fair bit whenever we go shooting, for like filming for our videos. You know, occasionally we'll come across them depending on the place and try them out, and they're just really, really nice watches. I think this is one of the best, like, you know, everyday kind of watch that you can get. The only thing I would wish is that they'd release one that has like a date, not just a date, or like a triple calendar, you know, well, perpetual calendar technically, right? I think that would be amazing. But yeah, they have some. Where is it? Okay. So yeah, other stuff you could get, like you said, you know, a used mechanical Grand Seiko. I think depending on the used mechanical, it can be worth it, because we're looking at where is it? I was looking at, yeah, Watchdin. You know, they have a lot of. Let me get back twice. They have a lot of, like, I don't know if you'd be able to get, how much is 2,500 USD? It's like 350k, 370k yen, right? So, okay. Yeah, like you might be able to get one of these like GMTs, or you could get this kind of diver here. I personally, I think for me, I wouldn't wear divers just because they're kind of too big. The Grand Seiko divers just look massive on my wrist, but you know, it's certainly an option. I don't know how big your wrist is personally, but yeah, you might be able to find, I think including tax-free, you have about 400,000 yen to play with, so you know, definitely can find something. But I think the Citizen is the best thing that I'd recommend you. Is it okay to barter? Welcome in Apple Lover 13. Is it okay to barter with watch shops in Japan, or is it considered disrespectful? Look, you know, there's no restrictions on chucking out a bid, or you know, suggesting to like chucking out an offer on something. But you know, I would say kind of outside of flea markets, there's not really much that you like leeway. You know, generally the price is the price, right? So if they say the price is $30 or $300 or whatever, you know, the price is $300, right? You can't really, you know, negotiate or barter that much with watch shops per se. But you know, they might be able to chuck in maybe 5% here or there, but you know, it really depends on the shop and the model, right? If it's a really hyped model, they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna give you a 5% discount, anything like that. So yeah, I would generally avoid bartering with watch shops, but you know, it's not illegal. you can check it out and see what they say. So, hello from down underbelly. Wearing my Seiko Prospects King Turtle Jaws 50th anniversary, matey. Hell yeah. Yeah, that was those Jaws 50th anniversary Seikos are quite nice. Take a look at that. I love it. It's a little bit of fun. It's still, you know, a pretty serious diver. 200 meters water resistance. You know, I like it's got the day date. You know, the loom plots and everything. And it's a little bit of fun. And it's just something we need to have more of in the watch world, right? But yeah, it's a beautiful watch. How much did you get it for, by the way? What was the damage? Anyway, let me go back to looking a bit more at what's the most expensive stuff they have at Watchnian. Oh, they just got this in. Oh, that's not a bad price for that Orient Star, actually. Damn. Here you go, guys. There's proof that Seiko, what is it? That Orient's basically Seikos, or underneath Seiko. Paid full price, yeah, but I don't know if full price is in Australia compared to Japan. Because I can tell you the price in. Sorry, I'm just drank a little too much water at once. Here, I can tell you the price here, 110 from Seiko, but I'm pretty certain that we can pick it up for a little less. 143. Whoa, that's not happening. Apparently 110,000 yen. So what's that? It's about 1,100 Australian dollars. I see. I see. Okay, where were we? Yeah, this Orient Star, not bad. 45,100. So tax-free 41, about 250 US. For power reserve. Open heart power reserve. Not bad. They're pretty regulated too. So yeah. But I love it. Hell yeah. Kuri's wearing a hijab in my honor. Yalla habibi. Exactly. I think it was Sam Martin or maybe Pagani did a homage of the Long Island Sea phone. Looks pretty similar to the original. Mark reviewed it. That's Long Island watches, Mark, right? Long Island watches, Mark. It's Mark with a C. Whoops. Which one did he do? Cool watches. Japan's best alternative to Seiko and Citizen. Hell yeah. Japan's best microbrand secret now in the USA. Is it crazy to say that I'm inspired by Mark? I gotta change my facial hair a bit to look like his, yeah. Would I look better with this kind of facial hair, you know? The 5 o'clock shadow instead of this. It was Wish Do It, not Sam Martin or Pagani, the latest video. AliExpress copied my watch. My shockingly honest review might surprise you. Okay, the Islander. Yeah. Wait, he owns the brand Islander? That's interesting. I didn't know that. The initial D Seiko watch collaboration is disappointing. What makes you say that, Pornage? Or Ponage? I think it's a nice watch. Hold on, let me scroll down till I find it. Here it is. This one here. What's disappointing about it? I think it's quite nice. It's got all of the kind of features, you know. I like that it's not super over the top. It's got the high beam indicator here, and the 24-hour indicator, and the minute for the stopwatch hand, minute seconds. Initial D Fujiwara Tofu. Fujiwara Tofu Tang there. Interesting. I like it a lot. I think this is like one of the best. I mean, it's also like recently our like best seller in terms of, I think we sold like almost 20 of these watches already, if not more. So it's just I don't think it'll last for long. I think this will be sold out within a couple of weeks, if that. His most recent upload. It's too expensive for a quartz. Is it? I mean, you know, a standard quartz from what's a normal quartz Panda? Let me take a look. Like the quartz Pandas are like 500 with no anime on them. I'm trying to think what's the like. Not this. Maybe I'll do it in this one. Yeah, like these Prospect speed timers are like, yeah. So the Prospect speed timer is $695 USD from Seiko. So I mean, they're pretty similar watches, I would say. The Quartz Panda, and then where's the other one? Let me put it this way, side by side. Is that crazy to do? There you go. They're basically the same watches, but you're paying an extra $45 for the to get the initial D one. It's collectible though. Should hold its value if looked after. Yeah, I think, like I said, extra $45 to have like a cool, you know, initial D anime themed watch compared to just a standard Seiko. I think it's worth every cent. Is that crazy to say, chat? Is that crazy to say? What's up? Hey, Alan Plays. What's good? How you doing? Maybe I should get it. Look, mate, you buy what you want, all right? Don't let us, you know, talk you into or talk you out of getting a watch. Cause I like that box too. Isn't that cool? It's got the little Fujiwara box on it. Okay, so what happened? They, like, an AliExpress brand copied his watch. This is the copy. Let me pause it.
Still 12 and a half, which is very interesting, and we'll get to that in a second. It's 47 on the lug to plug, no holes for strap changes. The bracelet on ours is fully brushed. This one's got polished sides. We just thought the fully brushed matched the case better. It's a 20mm bracelet, and it crystal is advertised.
Damn, it's almost exactly the same.
More like a mineral hardness.
Look at it side by side. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, they straight up just copied his. I got a date window on the fakies a fair bit worse. I mean, if you're a big fan of Initial D and a watch collector, why not? Yeah, exactly, right? That's the whole thing. What's the time right now in Cali?
8 ticks per second. But otherwise, I mean, the 8215 is a workhorse of the Miyota fleet, but it is far, far, far less expensive and far, far less accurate than the 1915 or the 1939 that we use in some of the other.
What's the price difference between the two? His one's $429, right? How much is the Chinese, the shitter version?
So, let's go over it. Let's do
probably 100, right? It's probably $429 for his like genuine one, then $129 for the shitter. Is that crazy to say? Anyone else have a Soviet era Russian watches? I fixed one I got on eBay from someone in Ukraine. Very cool. 6:38 a.m. in Cali.
And they're not looking to.
Okay, yeah, the Loom one, his one is way better. You can see too the date wheel, like the fake one has a slight misalignment. See how the date is not even fitting the full window, and it also seems a fair bit smaller. His one seems to actually fill up the date window a bit better than the one they've got.
The bracelet, actually, the quality, besides being pins, is fine. The movement, the 8215 movement is a wonderful movement. It's used all over the watch industry. It is a workhorse. Citizen, Bull, they use it in so many of their automatic watches. So what happened? Well, I think.
Ooh, it's thicker too. Damn. Okay.
To
Ooh, naughty, naughty. Anyway. Hello, Chris. Hello, Watch Lovers. Welcome in. Andre Joshim-san. How are you doing? Obama looking at a Rambong at the moment. What is that? I don't know if this is a watch or something. Made in North Korea. Marambong wristwatch. Wait, it's a North Korean wristwatch. Damn. That's crazy. I don't know if I'd buy that. What do you guys think about the Minase Uraga Ice Blue? I saw that earlier today, and Minase Uraga Ice Blue. I was very impressed with the. Yeah, look at that! Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's very clear, you know, Minase, they're a company renowned for their casework, right? Let's go on their website. They did a good job on this. There are people comparing Islander to Kuoe because of the movement. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, isn't this one here specifically? I mean, they all got the same case, just different dials and bracelets and stuff. But they did a great job on this. I love the case. I love the bracelet. I love the dial. Just, I think everything about it is quite nice. Question is, what's the damage? If it's over 200,000 yen, I might have to double think, you know? Right, show us the... Let me click through. Oh, they got a 42 and a 31. I didn't know. Oh, see? Alright, side by side between the men's and the ladies. 42 is kind of massive, though. 715? Damn. That's a lot of money. It's a Swiss movement. It's an ETA 2892 base. Look, it's a really nice watch, but 715,000 yen. Maybe it's cheaper at third-party retailers or in the store or something. I don't know. But I think it's a... Look, it's a beautiful watch. I like the bracelet. You know, the bracelet's like... It's kind of like an AP-ish bracelet, but also not really, you know what I mean? It's like its own thing. So you get a good job on the bracelet, case, dial, everything like that, but 715 is kind of crazy. Even with, you know, an ETA 2892 movement. That's just... It's a lot of money. 715,000 yen gets you into a lot of big brands, right? A lot of big brands, nice models. So yeah, the Atelier Wen, very, very cool. What else are they going to show us here? That hammer finished dial, isn't that crazy? And the laser engraved Chinese poem on it. I've been saying for a long time, even before we started this YouTube channel, I've been saying that like Chinese watches are gonna go crazy, and you know, it just takes one brand to break out of that, like, oh, you know, China only makes cheap clones or cheap fake watches or whatever, and then once one watch breaks out of that, it's gonna go crazy. And I feel like Atelier Wen is the first kind of brand that's been able to break out of that like curse of being seen as cheap Chinese watchmaking. Is it Soho in Tokyo, Chris? Wet towel on your head? Well, I just finished my shower like 5 minutes before I started streaming, so I had to jump on in the right time. JK Flip Flop says, need a birthday idea for my Japanese friends' kids. 10-year-old boy, what watches do kids wear over there under 500? I think, you know, for kids under 500, I think there's a lot of... Oh damn, there's still some plastic on this Kuoe. I think kids, what kids wear a lot of is G-Shocks, right? Like there's a lot of G-Shock wearing. by younger kids in Japan, you know, it makes sense, right? You want to have something that's like super durable, you know, looks cool, you know, functions well, etc. So like, you know, it depends a lot on his interest too. Like if he's into cars, if he likes GTRs, you could get him, for example, let me show you here. We sold a few of these like GTR G-Shocks. It's sold out now, but we could get one or two more. But yeah, it's the same as a normal G-Shock, but it has like GTR on the emblem, and it comes in this like GTR tin. I think if it's like a kid into cars, it's quite nice. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really nice, you know, G-Shocks. Something like these LF20Ws or 30Ws. You know, if he's a kid who likes a very eccentric design, you know, these type of G-Shocks can be popular, can be nice too. I'm personally not a big fan of this, but I can understand a little kid could be really into this type of, you know, design on it, right? But yeah, really it helps a lot if I know what kind of kid he is. But these jelly G-Shocks too are quite cool. They have like a see-through bracelet, you know. But yeah, I think definitely keeping it on the cheaper kind of more, you know, with like a resin bracelet, something like that can really feel a lot nicer, right? But yeah, feel free to give me some more information. Where did it go? Feel free to give me some more information. LK, I think it was LK Plays. They might not even still be around here. Best place to find JDM vintage watches around sub 100k yen. So we have a whole playlist that I recommend checking out. Let me bring up the other one. So yeah, we have a whole playlist of our videos that features, you know, where to go. Let me show you here, playlists. So this one here for like Japan watch area guides is pretty good. The other one, general watch content, has some suggestions on where to go. Like this video here, is watch hunting in Tokyo still worth it? We showed here Mizutani camera. Let me pause the this one here. So this Mizutani camera is quite good. Otherwise, check out our area guides. The first story I want to bring up is Mizutani camera. Although it has camera in its name, you're gonna see a lot more watches than cameras. Now, on this channel, we travel a lot and we find a lot of amazing watch stores. But Mizutani camera might be the best selection of vintage watches that you can find throughout all over Tokyo. What impresses me about this store? Yeah, so you can see there a lot of these look 41,000, 41.8, 49.5, 77,000. You know, 6,000. There's a lot of really nice amount of watches that they have here, and although they are vintage watch. Howdy, welcome in, Joker. So yeah, I'd say watch this full video. You know, you can enjoy seeing a lot of stuff in Mizutani camera, and stuff like that. So, and also that other playlist that I suggested, right? What style are you looking at? Dress, diary, etc. Yeah, I think that's important to know too, right? But that shop has a lot of variation. Other one I recommend, these ones you're not going to find a whole lot under. Let me put because I think these guys do tax free as well. So I put 120,000 yen, and they do have a fair bit of choices around this. I'll set it to cheapest first. So they do have a fair few, you know, choices around this. This one here was in the video we were in recently. 78,000, you know. Some of these ones here, Seiko for 88. So they don't have a ton of stock under 100,000 yen, but they do have, you know, a fair few. A lot of nice stuff. Damn, I didn't know they had an IWC ladies for under 100. Oh, just over 100. That's quite nice. But yeah, check them out. Let's go back. I've been eyeballing the Henry Archer blue dial. watches recently. Absolutely beautiful the way they changed in the light. The Soviet watch I managed to get working is blue dial Slavomatic. I work as a machinist, listening, watching between changing parts. GMT, I don't know if you're going to get that many GMTs under 100,000 yen, especially vintage, but I mean, you know, it's worth taking a look at Mizutani camera. They might have some GMTs under 100k. I keep getting ads for the long jeans Zulu time. Very annoying music. I didn't know they had annoying music like that. So yeah. Joke as well. What's the best watch I can buy for around $3,200? A little bit earlier we were talking about it. I'm a big fan of these Citizen watches, the Citizen watches. So, I mean, they have a lot of really nice ones. This one's around 3,200. It's 3415. And look at that! Isn't that a beautiful dial? Amazing. And so it's very hard titanium. And then they also add in, they platinum coat it and polish it, so it has just amazing shine on the bracelet. And it's a solar quartz, and it's a perpetual calendar, so that 7 will be, the date window will be correct always. So I think these are really, really nice for around 3,200 USD. Jokers. They have some other ones too with different, like, you know, different dials. This one's, if you like a little like rose gold kind of case, you know, I think this is a really beautiful one with a similar textured dial. They got this blue one here as well, quite nice. I think the Citizen in general is just really kind of underrated and overlooked, you know, in their, you know, they make really good watches for really good prices. Like some of these ones on the cheaper end, the older kind of Chrono Masters, like 1,700 is just crazy. It's a lot of watch for not even $2,000. What do you think about the RWC Petronas AMG Pilot watch? I saw that the other day. It's the black and blue one. Yeah, I like it. You know, I think it's got the AMG colors. You know, that kind of deep cyan and black. I think it's very, very cool. You know, personally, don't really have what's that, about 9 grand to drop on something like this at the moment, but you know, if the watch channel takes off, maybe I could get something like this. But I mean, movement is quite beautiful too. And you know, it's an IWC with a little bit of a pilot's feeling to it as well, right? Ooh, they let you play with the chrono button. That's cool. Damn. This is a really nice animation. They look low quality. I mean, that's what you want, you know, so you don't get robbed in London, right? But yeah, that's very, very cool. No, I like it. I mean, you know, for IWC, it's pretty reasonably priced. What's a normal one compared to... Ooh, yeah, this one's in yellow gold. What about like a non... I mean, it's not incredibly, you know, extra priced, but yeah, I can see why the color palette is not for everybody, right? This is for your like Miami, you know, Miami watch dealer or something like that, you know. Someone who likes to hang out in Miami a lot. I almost pulled the trigger on a Citizen Seiko this past weekend. The orange dial was absolutely me. The other one that caught my eye was the green dial gold bracelet. I've never worn a gold tone watch. Yeah, the Seiko with the orange dials are quite nice. You know, it's a fun summer watch. It's a couple $100, right? You know, you can't complain too much or something like that. This one's more like a yellow, to be honest, but you know, it's a little pop of color. It's a little pop of color to a wardrobe, right? So I quite like them. I want a Casio Oceanus S100 next for me. It's Casio, Citizen, Cartier. It's the core of my collection. Formex, Chinese switch, market brands, etc. Pretty sure we have a. I'm pretty sure we have a S100. Yeah, we have 2 S100s for sale. Well, 2 models that we can source for you. This one's got all the time zones: LAX, Anchorage. You know, London, Paris, UTC, London, Tokyo, TYO, Sydney, Adelaide. Okay, nobody knows Adelaide. We do know Sydney though. It's a nice watch. I mean, for 440, 490, not bad. I like this black one actually. Yeah, that's quite cool. Damn, look at that bad boy. Ooh. Ooh. On the wrist? Ooh, that's quite nice. That's quite nice. S100 is pretty good. I'm still revisiting the Oceanus prices. Hold on. Yeah, these might get a slight price adjustment. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, they're quite nice. I like the S100. Could you should get the Petronas IWC for me so I can be patriotic? That's right, isn't it? Petronas is the two towers in Malaysia. I went there. I got a sizable bonus from work and it's burning a hole in my pocket. Yeah, well, I mean, browse through our website, you know. Probably find something you end up liking. I think with the Seos is quite nice, but you guys should take a look at the Zenshins. The Citizen Zenshins. They got a lot of these. Yes, I mean, I like all of these Zenshins, but especially the Eco Drive specifically, these ones. It's a titanium watch, texture dial, day date, you know, Citizen, and they're really not that expensive from what I've seen. They have automatic ones too with I'll show you. I mean, that one's quite nice in blue, but they have like a Tiffany blue one here. So I feel like these are just a little bit nicer than the Zenshins. Yeah, a little bit more expensive, but is that nice? Offset, small seconds, date. It's quite a nice watch. I like them a lot. It's a national gas company. Okay, there you go. Jokers, I finally saved up and got a Rolex from AD. Seriously life changing. Getting one watch that is right is way better than getting 5 that are just okay. Got a blue dial Milgauss in 2021. Let's take a look. Blue dial Milgauss. Ah, yeah. Yeah, Milgauss is quite nice. I think this is one of the, you know, like, very, very nice. How much are these bad boys now? How much do they charge for these? Check Chrono. 8 to 9, 11 grand, 12 grand. It's a lot of money for what that watch. What that watch is. 12 grand. Damn. 13. Damn. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. Is Grand Seiko really worth it? Yeah, I think Grand Seiko makes some amazing watches, right? I think Seiko have been making amazing watches for a long, long time, right? So, you know, I think there's a lot of choices. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the divers or GMTs from Grand Seiko, at least for my wrist, because they kind of look comically large on my wrist, right? You know, these are just a little too big. I don't know if you guys have seen the size of these, but they're 14.4 mil thick and they're 44.2 mil with 50.6 lug to lug. So on my wrist, you know, I got a skinny kind of chicken wrist. I don't know if you guys can see it that well. It's not exactly the I'm like 6.75 inches or something like that. So kind of looks like a dinner plate on my wrist. But yeah, there's a lot of really good Grand Seikos out there. I think one of the things you have to, you know, realize or understand is, you know, when you're going into a Grand Seiko, at least, you know, initially, you're probably going to take if you buy it new, you're probably going to take a bit of a haircut on the price, right? You know, this is not like, I hate the term investment piece or investment watch, because I don't think any watch should be an investment, but you know, the reality is if you buy a Grand Seiko, you have to buy it because you like it yourself and you're willing to wear it and enjoy it as it is, and not because you think it'll sell for double the price in 10 years or whatever, right? But I think in that like 10, you know, like 5 to 10 grand, you know, price range. They make some really nice watches. They got really nice. Like this one's just over 10 grand US, right? The UFA. And I mean, you know, the movement finishing on the back is quite nice. It's just not my favorite dial, but it's quite a nice dial. And you know, there's ratchet polishing, everything. You know, now this one has micro adjust, and they're just really nice across the board, right? I don't think it's crazy to say that. And I think Grand Seiko's really, let me pause this for a second, they're really hitting their stride with their marketing recently. Goddamn, my doo-doo internet. Damn. And it's plus minus 20 seconds a year for a mechanical movement. Isn't that crazy? 3 seconds a month. Damn. Kuoe is 26 joules. The watch has a green sapphire crystal. Yeah. What's your favorite dial? I think my favorite dial of all time are these Seiko Superior Morpho dials. I saw this in person one time, but this thing is just crazy. These are expensive though. These are like 4 or 5 grand, up to like 7 grand for like dead stock level ones. But the dial itself, it shifts between like this like cyan, teal, deep blue, and like purple, depending on like what angle the light hits it. And then you also have these like raised metal indexes that it's just beautiful. It's just a really beautiful watch. And I mean, look at that. It's just like Seiko don't make anything like that these days. So I think this is just a crazy bit of like history in Seiko watchmaking that I really like. But the more I talk about this, the more prices are gonna go up, because you guys are gonna, you know, keep buying this, and then I'll never be able to buy one for myself. But yeah, it's a really nice. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. I'll try and go through the. Let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, it's just crazy across the board. I really like it. But yeah, they're like a couple. They start at like 3 to 5 grand now. What's with the towel over your head? I just got out of the shower a while ago. Although I'm quite dry now. Let me take it off again. Hold on. I'll hang it up. Alrighty, there we go. So I got the drying rack. So I got my, it's hanging here, and the aircon is up there, so it's drying like immediately. Is GS's accuracy claim movement only or cased up? Swiss cost is just movement only, not cased up. I'm pretty sure it'd be cased up. They also accuracy test a lot of their movements to 7 positions instead of 6. I don't know if it says that somewhere. Anyway, what do you think of the Chrono Tokyo watch as an alternative to Grand Seiko? You know, I think that Chrono is not really an alternative to Grand Seiko per se, but you know, I think they make some really nice watches, right? Like, what's the price on this one? Let's see, US 2,300. I mean, look at that, right? Isn't that crazy? That's a beautiful watch. I don't think 2,000. What was it? 2,300 US. Yeah, 2,230 US is not a ridiculous price for this. It's a beautiful. Wow, look at that. The way the light hits the dial is crazy. Same thing in this kind of patterns, blue and cream. 24 hour. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you'd really be cross-shopping. Like, I guess if you're looking for an expensive Japanese watch, maybe you are cross-shopping Chrono and Grand Seiko. But I don't think they're really the same kind of things. These ones here, I've seen these in person. These are really, really nice too. These Urushi dials, like brown one, green one, and red one. Agane, I think it is, the red one. Very, very nice watch. Nice box too. But yeah, I think these ones are sold out now, so hard to get. But they make great watches. But yeah, I don't know if you'd be cross-shopping this with a Grand Seiko. That just doesn't make sense. I go with my 9R for 65. Hell yeah. If you buy a watch and it loses almost half its value, maybe Rolex is the way to go. I think if you're really worried about the value, you know, of your watch, then yeah. But if you're just buying something because you want to, you know, own it, wear it, and enjoy it, which I think should be most of the watch buyers, right? I don't think you should really. I think there's better ways to invest your money than buying a watch, right? Unless if you're really getting into those like crazy high-end pieces. Like for example, these what is it called? AP perpetual calendar black ceramic. Like if you can get offered these higher end watches, like these perpetual ceramic stuff like that, then okay, yes, this is, you know, an investment watch, right? Because, you know, it costs you get offered this for like 70-80 grand, and then within a couple of years it's worth 200, right? But for 99.999% of the human population, you're not getting offered these watches. The amount of money you have to cycle to like start getting offered these watches, you know, there's better ways to invest your money, right? Maybe I'll just have more money and buy an Omega. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of really nice Omegas out there, you know. Fire Kids, for example, they're selling some nice Omegas. This one's what, 748 for 98 Speedmaster. Ooh, a little bit on the pricier side, but nothing crazy. Do like it. Wow, look at that movement. Damn. They got these ones here. These Polaris style Seamasters. What do they call them? Porebondo? Oh, pre-bond. Okay. 98. Quite nice. There's a lot of really nice Omegas. I mean, I think this video that we have coming this Friday actually has... I don't know what Yuta's editing, but I think he might be editing... we went to a place that has a ton of Omegas, some other stuff, so he might be editing that. Oh, look at this one. It's a black mirror diamond. Damn. It's quite a dial. A little bit of patina on it. Beautiful. I made a better investment with that Rolex than I did in crypto, lol. Oof. By use and taking condition, you watch depreciation out of the equation. Yeah. Look, I think with a lot of Grand Seikos, you know, especially too with how, like, you know, if you go to like, not WatchCrunch, if you go to WatchNeon, for example, there's a lot of Grand Seikos that, you know, like for example this one here, right, SLGH. What do they put the ranking of this? Ranking A. Yeah, so this one's including tax 1.08 mil. I think these SLGHs are like, let me take a look at their new price. Yes, you're losing like, yeah, 1.342. You're losing almost 300,000 yen, like walking out the door with one of these. The only thing is the when you buy a Grand Seiko new, you can join the I think it's the 9F club, or what is it? The GS9 club here. So if you want to join the GS9 club, it lets you like get invited to special Grand Seiko events, and you can buy special GS9 Club limited only models, right? So there are some advantages, but I don't know if it's worth 300,000 yen worth of advantages, you know what I mean? I go with the Omega World Timer, hell yeah. Constellation Pipeline is Chef's Kiss. As I'm learning to work on watches, which Japanese watches should I keep an eye out for? Which ones are great? Which ones are worth restoring? Pretty much all of the older Grand Seiko mechanicals are worth kind of restoring and working on, because they're worth a lot more working than they are as, you know, junk or parts or whatever. Looking for a big day, looking at the Maurice Lacroix Jolet Retrogrado, but not really sure about the quality though. Any alternatives? Is this the yours retrograde Tono masterpiece? Ooh, not bad. Okay, interesting. I mean, Maurice Lacroix is not like a bad brand. Like, they've been around for a long time. I wouldn't worry too much about the quality on these, or like the, you know, like it's not like they're a small brand, right? They've been around for a while. When did they come out? Let's see what Wikipedia says. This article has multiple issues. Yeah, founded in Sina Legia in the highlands of Jura as part of Desco von Scholzes of Zurich in 1975. There you go, mate. They've been making watches for a while, and they got their own full in-house movements. Whoa. Yeah. Anyway, I wouldn't worry too much about that. How is GS service for vintage watches? Do they have many parts? I think with GS Vintage, it's always better. You know, we tell people, like, if you're looking to buy, you know, especially like vintage Grand Seiko, you know, as soon as they leave the country of Japan, the people who are willing to work on them, and mechanicals are a different story, but especially for the non-mechanical models, as soon as they leave the country of Japan, you know, getting parts and getting people with experience or willingness to work on these older watches can be harder, right? So you know, for those ones, you know, it makes sense to kind of we've had customers who, you know, buy a watch from us and then they ask us to, you know, go and get it serviced while it's in country, and then we go and get it serviced and it, you know, turns out to have some issues, and, you know, thankfully, because they bought it from us, they were able to get it serviced before it left the country, right? So because once it leaves the country, you basically have to keep looking around and hope that you can find the right part or whatever. So it can be just a massive pain in the ass. Counter-Strike skins is a good investment. My son sold one skin for 1.5k last week. That cost him like 20 euros a few years ago. Damn. What can you tell me about a Japanese brand named Namika watches? We've come across Namika watches a few times. I don't know too much about these, to be honest. You know, design wise, like they seem interesting. Where was it? Is there a way to see their about page? No, I don't want to sign in. So yeah, it's interesting to me. Like, I don't see, when I was looking around at this before, like, I wasn't seeing a lot of info on, you know, who's the actual, like, owner and founder, right? It doesn't seem like they have, like, a figurehead per se. You know what I mean? So I'm a little hesitant. It always kind of, maybe not annoys me, but it always leaves me a little worried when I see a Japanese brand. You know, it says here, like, Charlie and Aki, so, like, but I've never seen, you know, them being interviewed or them in person or whatever, right? So, you know, I'm wondering, like, is this just like a guy who married a Japanese woman or something like that, which obviously that's the same as me, right? But you know, just wondering if there's more to it. But, you know, the watches look nice, you know. Like, they're not horrendously priced, you know, 620. It's pretty decent. It's clearly got a Miyota movement in there. They've done some nice casework on the back here. You know, the casing's pretty nice. It's interesting. Yeah, I can't complain too much on this one. Tough yellow lightweight grade 2 titanium. Like, if you like the look and you think the price is not bad, which I think 620 USD is not crazy, you know, for this watch. And same with a lot of their other watches, right? You know, yeah, rubber strap 529, steel bracelet 599. Like, they're not outrageously priced, they're not outrageously sized. You know, they have some interesting designs, Miyota movement, so you don't have to worry about any sort of movement issues. Like, it's quite nice. I wouldn't worry about this at all. I'd buy it if you like it. I'd buy it, I would say. But yeah, in terms of what I know about them overall, you know, like I said, there's not a whole lot of info out here of them. You know, I don't see them in stores for sale in Tokyo. I think you should probably see it more as like what is this? Namika X Horology. Oh, it's a network of watch repairers and stuff. Service centers around the globe. Okay. Here we go. Let's take a look at their press kit. It's just the same photos. Okay, that's not really that useful. So yeah, I'd be curious, and I'd love to meet the founder and talk to him about his brand, because, you know, at the moment it's just a little unclear to me, right? Like, the about page just kind of not shop, the about page to me, you know, it mentions their in Japan 2022, the huge generosity of customers from across the world, we successfully launched via crowdfunding for our first collection, the Shirahama. We came back 2 years later in February 2024 to launch Okami, our sophomore release. Namika will continue to develop new refreshing designs. I'm very suspicious of the watch brands who don't sell their watches physically in stores. Yeah, I mean, look, these days a lot of people buy online, right? So, you know, I'm not completely turned off by watches that don't sell in a physical store. Technically, we don't sell in a physical store, although we are considering opening up a physical store sometime in the future. At the moment, we still have to work out a lot of details, but the bar that we host our meetups at, they said that, you know, during the daytime we can like rent their space for pretty cheap, and so we'd be able to, where's my, oh, they're over there. So we'd be able to have that as our like physical store. You know, we'd be able to have that as our physical store, and then later on we'd be able to maybe get a separate physical store somewhere around Nakano Broadway. I was taking a look around, and some of the, I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you hop on Google Maps to Nakano Broadway, so not exactly Nakano Broadway, so obviously if you come like here, like this is where the, let me go like here. Yeah, so all the way down here, this is the Sun Plaza, Sun Mall, and then it goes into the Nakano Broadway, right? So I was looking at Nakano Broadway, and even like a very tiny 8-meter squared store, which 8 meters squared is like 86 square foot, right? It's nothing. Even that store is like 150,000 yen. But down the street, like on the left or right, like we could go into one of these buildings, you know, down the street here, either on the ground floor or on like a second floor or something like that, like one of these streets, one of these buildings, and we could get like maybe 50 meters for like $2,000 a month, something like that. You know, a lot of these places are kind of closing down, they're not getting enough customers, so I don't know, something to think about. Beer and watches at Algate, awesome. Yeah, exactly. By the way, Alan, are you the Alan who comes to our meetups? Did you see also we have a Friday event? So yeah, we're actually hands-on with, let me, where is our events? Yeah, so we have one more, I'll put it here. So yeah, we have an event here with, we're hands-on with a Celton. Yeah, the Hong Kong Watch Club and community founder is in Tokyo, so you know we'll be able to chill and enjoy, you know, touching the new watches and talking with him. He's brought a few watches, etc. So it'll be good. It seems like modern mechanical watches go two directions: replace movement instead of service, cheap watch, or service movement for lots of cash to save an intergenerational watch. Thoughts? Timex mechanical or disposal? Yeah, look, I think if you're buying a $200-300 watch that has like a, you know, like, let's be clear, those NH35s, NH34s, probably piecemeal. I know piecemeal, they're like, if you just want to buy one movement, it's like $20 to $30 or whatever, right? But if you're buying like 100,000 or like 1,000,000 of those movements, I think the price goes down to like a couple of dollars at max, right? So if the movement is a couple of dollars, like, it's just faster and cheaper for everybody to just take out the NH35 movement and chuck a new one in. So, you know, unless if you but if you specifically want them to overhaul or fix up the movement as is, if you find a third-party watchmaker, they'll do that happily for you if you're willing to pay, you know, $200, $300, $400 to get it overhauled plus whatever repair fees and stuff, right? Dang, the NH35 I bought on Amazon for $55. There's people selling fake NH35s, but you can buy them here. Okay, about $30. Yeah, it's 5,800. Is this a genuine one? It is. Okay, but yeah, it seems like they're about 30 bucks just for the movement, 30 to 50. Thank you. If possible, please visit the Chrono Tokyo Salon and tape video. Yeah, we plan to at some point. We just got to find some time to actually talk to them, right? But you know, they make some nice, they make some really nice watches. We'd love to talk to them. The other Alan, Java Chips 56. Oh, okay. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Speaking of, let me bring up the. So actually, oh, what the hell? Why is it not showing the results? Yeah, so someone in the chat actually just bought the Grand Quartz from us. Isn't this beautiful? Unfortunately, it's really hard to actually capture the dial, but this was a really nice watch. I was a little bit sad to see it go. What's the best bang for buck watch under $5,000? I think under 5,000, the look, I think for me, I would say the best under 5K like these vintage date justs. There's a lot of these like vintage date justs you can get for like under 5 that I think are really, what's 5, like 7.5 grand. Probably have to get a date just 36, but the 36 is fine for me. But yeah, some of these older ones, like this one here, 781 tax in. If you did that in, let me do 781. Yeah, 702 900. That's like, yeah, 4.7 grand. That's a really nice watch. Beautiful for just under 5. It's still 5 digits, so you know, it's got some, it's not a super old movement. Cal 3135. Well, yeah, that, I think this is really nice for under 5. But I think the other option you could go for, maybe a little bit over 5. But the SBGA 443s, they're all sold out at the moment. Damn. But you could get I think they're a little over now. So 946. You can usually get these 15% off. So 804 100. Yeah, these are slightly over 5k. It's what can I I'll put it up to the right for you guys. This is 5.4k for the SBGA. The Eke, the Shumbong. I think this is a really nice watch for 5 grand. Well, slightly over 5 grand. Modulo, if it's a guaranteed problem, they don't service, just change. If you want to clean the move and change oil, then service. I love this damn street. Swatch grips, Powermatic 80 series don't get service, they just replace movement. Those movements can be serviced, but it's cheaper for Swatch to just put a new one. I think it's cheaper for almost every brand to put in a new movement for their lower end watches, right? Like Seiko are going to do the exact same thing. If your watch with an NH35 dies during the warranty period, they're just going to replace the whole NH35. They're not going to service a $3 movement, right? It's just easier to pull it out and put a new one in. Just like this bad boy. If this watch with this, I think this is an NH35. It's a 4R35B. So if this watch has movement problems, they're just going to pull out the movement and dump it straight in a a new one. I bought my Tissot Powermatic 80 carbon fiber dial watch before the Rolex. I think I'd never get a big one. Rubber strap has worn great for the last 4 years, probably 2 days a week. But yeah, disposal movement, basically plastic parts in escapement anyway. I mean, plastic parts is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, for those who don't know, the what is it called? The new Rolex movement, the Languila. Well, technically it's not plastic, it's silicon, whatever the hell it is, but where is it? Show us the movement, Brodies. Siloxy. What do you guys think about this shitter? Damn! It's so close to being good. That's the problem. For me, it's so close to being good. But anyway, show us the movement thing. Is there a... here it is. There it is, silicon. Look at it. It's all plastic. It's all plastic. It's a shitter. No, it's fine. Cambo, would I be able to source watch parts through your site? I'm looking for a GS dial. I mean, I can take a look around, but it's not going to be super easy to find. But you know, if you put in a custom request on our website, there's a section here under more called request. I'll post it in the chat for you, but I can try and find it for you. But yeah, you know, don't get your hopes up super high, but I'll see what I can do. You know, I might be able to find something good for you. I love the display case back, but Rolex made a PRX. Yeah, display case back is good, but you know, you're right, they did kind of make a PRX. Like, for me, it's so close to being good. All it needs to do is, a lot of people don't know this, right? But you know, off the rip, it comes with the Explorer 6 and 9, right? Which is fine, it's whatever, you know. And then if you change it to the Platinum one, it still has the same thing, but you change the bezel to diamond set here, and then it changes the hour markers to diamond set, and then it looks a lot better. Without when you have it with the Explorer 6.9, horrendous. When you have it with the diamond set bezel, you get your standard hour markers. Quite nice. The other problem is the dial. The chicken wire dial. I don't like the chicken wire dial at all. So I think once they release this with a standard champagne, you know, Datejust style dial, and or without those Explorer 6 and 9 with the open 6 and 9, then I think it'll look a lot better. Because right now, to me, that's the biggest problem. By far, is this stupid ass open 6.9 and the chicken wire dial. Those two together just make it horrendous. But everything else on it is pretty nice. Like, you know, it's thin. It's like a flat bracelet. It's a nice watch overall. But those are the two big problems with it. The Land Dweller dial reminds me of the Ninja Turtles. Exactly. Can you interview big GS collectors in Japan? I'd love to see Piece Unique GS. I mean, it's just hard to find those people, but we did, let me just try and find, we did talk to somebody who had a really nice collection, not just of GS, but of Seikos. So, where was it? Gosh, we need to really fix this up a little bit because there's a lot of stuff in it. This is the old watch meetup. Uncategorized, no. There was a really nice, we spoke to him, about his, he had a bunch of nice stuff. No, bar interview, flea market, no. Completed videos, no. Discussion videos, flea market. Ah, here we go. Footage for videos. Yeah, he had, okay. I'm just gonna mute this because I don't know what we were saying on the camera. But yeah, he brought a nice, he brought a Calatrava as well, and he brought a root beer and some other, his friend was there too with some cooler older Seikos too. So we were just not sure what to do with this video. If we're just gonna cut it up, or I'm just not sure if people will like enjoy it. You know what I mean? Here's the open case back for one of the Grand Seiko that he had. But yeah, it was really low light. We probably should have gone outside to film some of this. I think that was the biggest problem. Like the quality of the footage is just not so great. Higgins had the Artist Studio GS, spent 50k on a platinum one. Damn, it seems kind of cheap for a platinum watch, no? But yeah, we sat down with him and had like a chat. Oh yeah, his friend brought a Seiko Superior, I believe. Yeah, single quartz Superior. Which this is quite nice. These are kind of hard to find in good condition. He had something else too. I can't remember. But yeah, did we? So yeah, I'm just not sure what we can actually do with this footage, to be honest. But it's quite nice. I like the PRX. I'm not liking the Land Dweller, especially at the grey prices. What's the grey prices? Have any even hit the grey market? I think someone on our Discord got offered a Land Dweller. Whoa! Damn! 35 grand for this shitter. That's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't consider buying one. It's 116 for the Everose, and the platinum's all priced on request. Ooh, damn, price on request. Damn, they probably want like 230 for that one. Overpriced, overhyped, exactly. I like the individual parts of the watch, but not the final product, if that makes sense. Yeah, I agree. Land Dweller dial motif isn't that prominent in real life. Renders make them really stand out. It's not like that if you see it in person. Yeah, but... Well, I mean... looking at it's still reasonably prominent. Like even in the stainless ones, it's a little less prominent, but not that less prominent. You still see it. It's still a chicken wire dial. Like, sorry to say, the light unfortunately catches it. Just not a fan, I don't think. I like the 1908 much more, classing open case back as well. Yeah, I saw this one recently with the Sedimo bracelet. I think this is really, really classy. Very, very nice. And yeah, again, it's open case back, but the movement and stuff like that in here is not as good as the newer one. It's not as good as the Langella movement, but it's still quite nice. But yeah, Cellini moon phase. Yeah, Cellini moon phase, quite nice. Damn, look at that bad boy. Is it crazy to say that this, like, I know it's a genuine real Rolex, but is it crazy to say that, like, this is, like, it kind of looks like a fake Rolex, right? It's not that bad though. I like, what's the time in Cali right now? Let's see. Still not even 8 AM, damn. It comes with that Rolex moon phase pusher, which is quite nice. But yeah, it looks like something you'd see at like a night market, you know, night market for sale by a Rolex authorized dealer. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyway, let me jump back onto Watchsteam for a little bit. There was one that I was looking at that where was it here? I was looking at this one. It's priced right now. It's 2.134 tax in. So tax free, it would be 1.92. So this bad boy is just below 13k USD. It's a pretty nice watch for 13 grand. You know, it's not the cleanest, nicest example of a day date with champagne day date. Obviously the whatever's happened with the clasp there, not so good. You know, a little bit of grime. Not too good on the crown either, but you know, it's got the period correct open date wheel, it looks like. 13 grand. It's 134 grams, so about 100 grams of 18 karat gold. Not bad. Not bad. Should I buy, chat? One like and I'll buy. No, just kidding. I wish Rolex made full gold date just for most people that don't want to pony up for the day date. Small amount of meteorite on the moon phase and the Cellini. I didn't know I had a small amount of moon phase. This kind of meteorite on the moon phase. The problem is not in the price. We're just poor as church mice. They're full gold for ladies, and some 36 millimeter older ones are full gold and metal. Yeah, there are some full gold Datejust. You're right, but yeah, they got rid of them. Now you're gonna have to do the. If you want a full gold watch, you gotta go all the way to the day date. But yeah, a lot of these older ones, they do have it. Unfortunately, looks like this one's got a Rolex Service Center wheel. So it's not the original wheel, but yeah, this to me that's about as baller as it gets. I love a black dial on a gold watch. Onyx, isn't that crazy to say? Apparently these go from 11,000 euros to 23k euros. Wait, how much is this one? 14k after 25k. Ooh, beautiful though. Alright, I'm changing this one. I don't like this song. I gave you a like, thank you, Joke, as well, mate. Appreciate it. Is watch wearing collecting more of a clubhouse, a kind of badge of honor, or even a cult following? Now I'm curious. Look, you know, I think it can be a mix. We try and keep our events, you know, we try and keep them open to everybody. There's other, you know, watch clubs that are Not even just in Tokyo, but they're a bit more exclusive. You know, they only want to show specific watch types, or they only want a certain level of collector involved in their events, right? They want people who, you know, only wear watches that cost 20 grand or whatever. So, you know, it can be a little exclusionary, some of these events, but our ones, you know, we like to have everyone. And whether that means you're wearing a $20 Casio or you're wearing a, you know, $2 million Patek or whatever, we like to have everyone available, and everyone's invited to our events where we can talk, chill, and have a good time, right? So yeah, this one too is for sale. I'm watching in. This one's a 1803, so it's a fair bit older. I don't think this one comes with the quick set. So when you want to set the date, you have to go all the way around the dial every single time. Massive pain in the ass. Massive pain in the ass, but it looks pretty nice. Conditions a lot, you know, fair bit better on this one. Still got some minor, you know, dings and scratches here or there, and also it doesn't have the original date wheel, or day wheel. It's one of those service ones. At least it looks to me like it's a service one. This is how it's supposed to look like with the open 6 and everything. What is your everyday wear? My everyday wear is this bad boy. Casio G-Shock DWH 5600. It's got the step tracker, heart rate, you know, sleep monitor, all that stuff. It's a little Casio smartwatch basically. So that's quite nice. Thomas Preschner. I don't know what Thomas Preschner is. I think we'll go for another 20 minutes and then it's midnight. I got to sleep because I got to wake up for work at 8 a.m. Should I wear a PVD gold tone watch, or is it tacky because it's not real gold? I think it's fine. You know, I think it depends how the watch is designed, right? More so than whether it's a PVD gold or not. But you know, but yeah, there's some of these, like these gold tone Siosas. I think this is a really nice looking watch, right? And I don't think you should like not wear this just because you feel like gold is tacky, you know what I mean? I think too, maybe it can motivate you. Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong screen on. This one here, this red Citizen's really nice. This green and gold Citizen's really nice too. So I think too, it can motivate you to, you know, make more money so that you can buy a full gold watch at some point in the future, right? Is that crazy to say? Is that crazy to say? Isn't PVD gold still real gold, just a very thin layer of it? Yeah, PVD is like 5 to 20 microns thick, generally speaking. So, you know, it still is real gold, but a micron is a very how thick? Let's see, how thick is 20 microns? So 20 microns is 0.02 millimeters. So yeah, 0.02 millimeters. If you do it in centimeters, it's 20 microns, and that's considered a very thick plating. That's 0.002 centimeters. So your standard PVD at 5 microns is 0.0005 centimeters. Hello, love your content. Thank you for all you do. Hey, Kelsey, welcome in. Thank you so much. Appreciate the kind comment, and hopefully we can continue to bring you more and more content that you want to see. Here's an example of a green and gold watch, 8 million yen, about what, 40 grand, 45 grand. God damn it. To be fair, this is a new one. Like some of the older day dates, green and golds are not, you know, 8 million yen. They're a fair bit cheaper. So yeah. But yeah, I don't see any problem in wearing gold PVD watches. It's probably a good thing, right? Because everyone then will, you know, look around and think every watch that's gold while you're out on the streets is just PVD instead of being solid gold. I have the old Mido gold PVD. Old Mido gold PVD. Oh, that's very nice. Damn. Very, very nice. Can't complain too much, mate. Ooh, damn, look at that one. Sheesh. Caliber 80. Okay, okay. I was able to listen today while driving to work instead of in the middle of the night. Thanks. No worries, Papa Poon. Welcome, Papa Poom Poom. Welcome in, man. Pleasure to have you. Alrighty, what else was I looking at? You see here they're selling one of these old. Damn. Not older, sorry. This is a new it's a Daytona limo. 42 million yen. Though, what's that? About 300 grand US, maybe a little less. Sheesh, nice though. Oh, it's the 126528 6-digit Daytona. Damn. I finally got my first Grand Seiko SPG 275. What do you think? It's my most expensive watch. Let's take a look. Ah, this one here, the Skyflake GMT. Not even Skyflake. I forgot the name for this one. But these are very, very nice. The only thing I will say is, at least personally for me, I don't think I could ever pull this off because the sizing wise. I have a thin wrist. It's only, I don't know if I can show you that well, but 6.75 centimeter, sorry, 6.75 inch wrist, and then the 44 mil diameter. You know, 50.8 mil lug to lug, almost 15 mil thickness. Not gonna work on my wrist. It looks like I'm a child, you know. I already look kind of ridiculous with. Oh, you can't really see it. I kind of look ridiculous already with the Pepsi, right? And that one's like 42 mils. So where is it? Technically they're a 40 mil case diameter, but because of the bezel and stuff like that, it ends up looking like a lot bigger. What is it? Do they show the sizing? But trust me, it just looks really big on my wrist, to be honest. So I have an 8.25 inch wrist, then it's probably perfect for you. But yeah, no, I really like them. It's got a nice textured dial, you know, 9R16 movement, 15 seconds per month, pretty good. And yeah, nice. I like the loom too, and they've done this like open and close. Minimum I go is 41 millimeters. Yeah, well then, you know, it's probably perfectly sized for you. So yeah, that's a good purchase. How much did you pay? People keep stopping me to ask what I'm wearing when I wear my old gold watch, so I swap it to a leather bracelet. Oh yeah. Thanks for the stream. This is fun. Congrats on the Grail watch. Yeah, my wrist is 8 inches, roughly 200 millimeters. Native straps are a huge win. Honestly, I had to buy 2 links for my Milgauss. Ah, okay, I see. Oh. 6 grand US. That's a good price. That's a very, very good price. Alrighty, what was I gonna say? So I think I'm gonna stream for another 10 minutes or so, and then it'll be midnight in Japan, and I have to go to bed because I've got to work tomorrow at 8 AM. So yeah, and I got to dry my hair a little bit more too. It's like 80% dry. That is a very nice watch though. Very, very nice watch. Especially for the price, right? Can't complain too much. What do they got? What APs do these bad boys have? Let's set it to the most expensive first. Show us your shitters. 18 mil? Damn. Why is this one so expensive? Oh, it's the ultra thin. Damn, look at that. Extremely thin. Beautiful movement though. I'll take 10. Oh, it's titanium. It says titanium and it's extra thin. Yeah, I wonder how heavy it is. Nice, neat, decent money. I see them for about 5,200, 5,500 there in Japan. Yeah, it's generally a fair bit cheaper in Japan. What watch were you so excited about when announced, but was disappointed in person? or let me put on the audio again. I'll go back up to the top. Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to... I think when it was announced I was excited about the King Seikos, but then I saw like the price, the movement, like all the other stuff, and I was like, this is a joke, you know what I mean? Like if you go on the King Seiko website now, it's nothing like, I mean, it's just, you know, the fact that they want like 400,000 yen for these basically, and then I go into it and it's like, it just feels like to me that, you know, it's like, it's just not really a crazy, like, I don't know, I was just expecting kind of better from these, but it's a very basic like 8L45, you know, plus 10 minus 5 a day. You know, Grand Seiko used to mean that it was like, sorry, let me put it in English for you guys. Grand Seiko, you know, King Seiko used to be like, you know, direct competitor with Grand Seiko, right? The two factories were fighting each other, and so like to put this in just to me feels like a bit of a slap in the face to the legacy of King Seiko, you know. You have to see them in real life, they look crazy. I mean, I see them in real life, but you know, if you look at like the King Seiko Vanax, like the King Seiko Vanax, the vintage ones are like really nice. You know, they have a lot of crazy case designs, a lot of crazy dials. You know, there's some really nice KS Vanax out there, and then they drop this for like 4 times the price, and it just kind of feels average all around, you know. Like I'm not really a fan. I'd rather buy the vintage ones, which I think are much cooler and just better overall, you know. Like this is a really nice looking watch, and this will be like, I don't know, 50 to 100,000 yen. Let me see, this one sold for 35. Probably needs some work. Yeah, it says you can't change the date. The day adjustment is not possible. It's probably got a broken or damaged date disc. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's very disappointing to me compared to what I was. Look at this, isn't that beautiful? It needs to load. So yeah, thanks for early morning stream. We'll need to watch from the beginning. No worries, Mad Max in, man, welcome in. Last King Seiko is very disappointing as me. Strange watch. I agree with the price and the movement. Yeah, we'll be visiting Nagoya. Any places you recommend to visit that aren't tourist traps? Like, I personally haven't been watch shopping in Nagoya, so I actually have been to Nagoya. Look at this one. That's beautiful. And then the bracelets too on some of these. What was that one I just saw? This one here is quite nice. It's sold out though. But yeah, we see a ton of these all the time on sale, so we can definitely get these. Look at that wrist roll. Damn. Damn. With a faceted crystal. Beautiful. Anyway, yeah, Nagoya, I mean, I don't think many things there are a tourist trap because it's just not that many, yeah, look, I don't know per se, I've only been there once and it was mainly for food. It's, try and find some, ooh, prehistoric district, preservation district. Damn, this might be cool. The old style district. I don't know, just go around, try and get some. Tokugawa Art Museum. Okay, he has some interesting pieces, so you might enjoy this. Any women's watch that you found nice but can't find in men's? Hello, Elliot Guevara, welcome in. I like the AP frosted. I mean, these AP frosted gold minis, these are really beautiful watches, but you know, they're not really gonna look good on men. Even in the largest size for men, it's still, I just don't think looks that good, to be honest, on a man's wrist. But I'm gonna skip this one too. Here we go. Thank you. Have you chosen a wedding watch yet? No, I haven't. I don't know. I don't think I'd actually host the wedding, to be honest. It just doesn't. My friend did have a wedding though that I went to, but you know, I was just wearing whatever. I can't even remember what I wore, to be honest. I think I wore the date just that I had, but I ended up selling that a long time ago. Hi from Germany, just listening, have to work. Yeah. A wedding watch. Let me see. Let me find Okura's most expensive. Yeah, show us the most expensive thing you have. Ooh, Richard Mille. Okay, this is. I'm sorry, but I think Richard Mille's look horrendous. This is a complete shitter. Terrible, terrible. If you ever see me interested in Richard Mille's, just take me out back. I'm not a big fan of these puzzle dials either, and the celebration dials. I get it that they're like super rare or whatever, but I don't know, just not my thing, you know. Rainbow Daytona's not a massive fan of that. These AP Torbs are okay, I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of. It's alright, I mean. It's very cool technically, but yeah, just not really my thing either. This is more my style. These perpetual calendar APs, that's a wedding watch. If I was given it for free, you know what I mean? But buying it with my own money, obviously never gonna happen. Because 18 million yen, whew, it's a lot of yennies. It's crazy to me that this is like kind of cheap for a perpetual calendar AP. Yeah, interesting. I like these frosted ones. The previous page had like a frosted chrono with black subdials. Yeah, this is quite nice. If I was getting a free wedding watch, this is up here. What is your next watch? Like the one you'll be working towards? I think yeah, I don't know. I think like I said, you know, one of these like gold day dates. Like probably, I don't know. I'd want to get like some older vintage Rolex, maybe like a vintage day date would be really nice. Where is it? Not Daytona. I'm not really interested in the Daytonas at all, to be honest, which I know sounds crazy, but like these vintage day dates, you know, I mean, it would take a fair bit of work, but these ones between like 2 to 3 million yen. I'd love to get like a black dial gold day date to me, you know, around that, like, I mean, Onyx dial, but that's like just insane. That's not gonna happen because they're like 30 to 50k. These Onyx ones are crazy, but you know, some of these more vintage ones, I think, yeah, like this, yeah, right, look at that. I love them, but it's gonna take a while. at the moment, you know, there's so much stuff that we want to do. There's so much stuff that we want to do with the business. Here in blue actually is quite nice too. It's a beautiful watch, bark bracelet and bark dial, not dial, bezel as well. The blue, but yeah, I'm very hesitant to tie up a lot of capital at the moment because, like, I think shortly in the future for the Japanese factory, you know, we're going to set up a new office, you know, with a retail space so that people can come. If people are coming to Japan for a holiday or whatever, can come and you know, visit our store, maybe get interviewed at our store. You know, potentially buy watches and stuff like that while we're in that. And so I don't know if you guys know this, but like when you sign up for a new office lease in Japan, like there's a ton of fees just to start renting it, right? So a lot of it will, like, you probably have to pay 5 to 7 months, even up to like 10 or 12 months rent basically up front, just for all the fees and the bullshit, just like that. And that's before you do any of the outfitting or whatever. So, you know, probably quite soon we're gonna have to spend a lot of cash up front for a lot of that stuff. So, you know, I don't want to tie up all this capital buying a car or buying a you know, expensive watch like this when we're trying to set up a new office and everything. So yeah, you only live once, don't get high on your own supply. Well, pretty much every watch that we have is for sale, apart from this Kuoe. I think we'll do a few more videos on it. I don't know, I don't think we'll sell it. The carbon Casio that Yuta has, I don't think we'll sell that one yet either. And then the Pepsi, so those are the only kind of 2 to 3 watches that aren't for sale. So everything else basically is for sale. So yeah, a lot of it is just stuff that, you know, we find that we think would be, you know, I think if we like it, there's a good chance that a lot of our viewers will like it too. That's why we, you know, we grab stuff that, you know, we figure if we like it, then definitely you guys will like it as well. So, but yeah, that's why pretty much everything in the vintage section of our website. Some of it we've had for a while, but the majority of stuff there, sort by collection here, vintage and used. A lot of the stuff that we have here, most of it we bought it for shop stock, but some of it is not for shop stock. It's just, you know, we've had it for a while and we're putting it up for sale. But yeah, this one I've had for ages. I've had this for like 2 or 3 years now. I very rarely use it because it's really, really nice and rare. But you know, it is what it is. Have you ever thought about doing a video on a hunt for customers? A lot of the times when we hunt for customers, we just do it. We do it online. We're not hunting like in person because it doesn't make sense for us to like. We both live quite far from like Nakano Broadway or wherever, so it doesn't make sense for us to like go from somewhere else all the way to like Nakano Broadway or whatever, hunting for something specific. If we were right next to Nakano Broadway, it might make more sense if we have our office there. And a lot of the times too, like customers are very, very specific about what they want. We do like, they'll say like, I'm looking for this specific reference number with this color dial or whatever, right? So it's just, you know, it's too niche or specific to find. But if the right opportunity comes up, we'll definitely do something like that. I think Yuta, we have discussed in the past of doing like maybe a tour. So like, you know, we'd organize, you know, maybe 5 to 10, you know, watch enthusiasts or whatever. And then we'd, you know, go around and hit all of the main spots within a day, right? So, you know, everyone just has breakfast. We meet at Nakano Broadway at like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. or whatever. You know, we hit up a bunch of shops there. Then we go across towards, you know, Ebisu. Then we go to, you know, Shibuya, have some lunch in Shibuya. Then we head to Ginza, do a bunch of shopping in Ginza and stuff like that. And then we have dinner and finish up for the day. But that's something that'll be a little bit further in the future. but I think it would be a good opportunity, you know, for people who want to be in a video and, you know, also shop a bunch of watches and, you know, be around other watch like fanatics, maybe not fanatics, but be around other people who like watches too. I think it would be a really cool experience and be a really cool video. I'll chime in since I did search for both you Seiko and as last in Japan. It's hard as fuck if you're not likely to find it IRL. Yeah, exactly. It's quite difficult to find that stuff IRL. Anyway, guys, it's just hit midnight. I'm getting a little tired. I gotta wake up in 8 hours for work, and I still need to, you know, get ready for bed and stuff like that. But it's been a absolute pleasure. Yeah, like Kat says, if you want a specific year, it's still best to find online 100%. But yeah, let me show you, speaking of 85 Seikos or King Seikos in general, let me show you this bad boy. A lot of them would just say like 70s, so like you don't get like a full-on year. But isn't this crazy? Original bracelet, everything, 138,000. Damn. Beautiful watch. Anyway, thank you so much for your time today, guys and girls. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day or good rest of your night, and I'll catch you guys on next week for the Wednesday stream. Bye guys. Bye. Mwah, big kiss.